Hey, everybody.
Hey, Larry. Hey. I am tired today.
Me too, Wayne. Me too.
Yeah, like today my first day off, so I'm like, yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, Doug. Ooh, I am tired. All right, make sure that okay. Okay, so I'll look at my server. It crashed because
How's everybody doing tonight?
doing
All right, how you doing, Shantina?
Doing good, Shantina.
Good,
you?
thank you. Good, thank you.
all right. I should be able to get that for that. TV. View shows TV. Baby, why does this still have upload? That's my problem.
Couple more minutes before we get started.
Yeah. That's actually what I want. Take this out, save that, see what happens. Ooh, are you saying connect? You're lying. You're lying.
Does Wayne
Your
know?
thought process is fascinating, Wayne.
Does Wayne know we can hear him?
Oh, my bad.
I don't know. I was letting go.
I feel like we're pair programming with him.
My bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Better be glad I said something. They was gonna let you keep talking.
I just wanted to see if he could get it to pull up correctly. I didn't know how long to give it, but I was rather it was him and not me, so I didn't care.
It worked. So yeah. All right.
Woo-hoo. Are we asking questions?
I don't know what we doing.
Yes, there's no need to wait for everybody.
Okay, so once we ignore them node modules, right? Then when we go in VS Code, then we're gonna do npm init, and then that's gonna bring our node modules back.
npm install. Yes,
Okay, well, I wonder why I wrote init.
because I think we said git in it last night when we were talking about how you could create a git repo from the terminal.
Oh, okay.
And it's also this same starting letter.
Okay.
To clarify, when you add something to your git ignore, you're still going to see it in VS Code. It's still going to be there on your computer. It's just not going to be tracked anymore by Git.
Oh, so that's the git ignore. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. Anybody got questions from yesterday? Thoughts? I can see on the deploy board the folks that have already created their GitHub capstone repos. Thank you for doing that. Other people, thoughts, questions, opinions, feedback?
We were supposed to do that. I thought we were doing it in class, because that's why I didn't do it
Yep.
at the
Nope.
end of class. Okay.
No worries. We're going to do it at the very beginning of class today.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I put everything that I wanted to go over there so that if I mess it up, I would be able to ask the question when I got here.
Cool. Well, according to the deploy board, you are all set, Christy. Okay. So if nobody has any other questions, before we jump into working on our Heroku deploys today, we're going to quickly create 2 Git repos for our capstone. We're going to deploy the blog today still, but we're trying to keep things kind of in sequence so that we can finish all the GitHub stuff that we need to get done for our deploys, then move on to the deploys and not have to come back necessarily and do any repo creation or mess with GitHub too much. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and show you guys what the deploy board currently looks like. Zoom out a little bit. This is what it looks like currently. So everyone has created the blog repos, and I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that yesterday. We're going to get to the Heroku section today, but before we do, we're going to quickly work on this GitHub repo for our capstone. So again, just a reminder, the format for your capstone repo should look like your GitHub username and then capstone dash front end. And I will pick on Christy as an example and go to Christy's repositories and see here, Christy has a capstone backend and a capstone front end. So I would like everybody to go in and make these two repos, and I'll do it along with you. Reminder on how to create repos. We go up here to the top right, click new repository, owner. That should just be your name. Capstone. I'm going to start with the front end. Make sure that it's public. Make sure that I click the add a README file box. There we go. Now, before I go and clone this down in GitHub Desktop, I'm just going to go ahead and make the back end one really quick too. So up here at the top again, new repository, capstone, backend, public, add a README. You've all done at least 2 of these already. So I'm hoping that this is second nature at this point. Wow, at least 3, right? Because we also had the portfolio for week 7.
I wish something was second nature after just doing it 3 times, but
Okay, so maybe not second nature, but mildly familiar, slightly familiar. It's not enough to just create it on the GitHub side. We also need to make the special folders on our computer that are linked with these 2 repos that we've made so that we can work on our code for our capstone and push it up. For the folks that have already come to class with their capstone repos made, did you also push your capstone code too? You also upload that to your capstone repos?
No,
I'm still working on it.
No, I did
I
not.
don't have a back end yet, so I didn't really.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to work for you to push it in here. The best place to be working on your code is in these folders. But anyways, let's go ahead and finish this up, and then we can talk about the code. So if you're following along with me, hopefully you have a capstone dash backend and a capstone dash front end created on the GitHub website. And if I take a quick peek at the GitHub board, it looks like a lot of folks have those 2 repos created.
hey,
Okay, and then go ahead.
what are you expecting us to have in the title where it would upload to your thing here? Like, because you want us to have it as capstone front end, capstone back end, or because I already have my capstone pushed. Well, I don't know if I pushed it, but it's uploaded. I just don't have it separated as front end and back end.
Right. Well, unfortunately, if you're Heroku, the deploy program we're going to use, fortunately for Heroku, we need to have it split into two repos, 2 folders. And I'll be happy to walk folks through how to separate those 2 things out. But for now, just create the 2 repos, the capstone front end, capstone back end. And as soon as we get done with this, we'll move code in there. Okay. So once you have those 2 repos created, remember we'll open up GitHub Desktop and we'll make those special folders on our computer. So going up here to the top left, clicking on the repo picker, the add, let's go ahead and clone those 2 repos that we made. Oops, capstone. You may need to click the refresh icon because you just made these two things. Capstone front end. There we go. So once you've cloned down those two, you should have capstone backend and capstone front end in your sidebar here. Santina, how are you doing on the repo creation?
Were you just talking to me?
Yep.
Okay, no, I'm fine. I didn't, I don't have a full back end, so I didn't know if that's something I should transfer over right
Well-
now, so I'm kind of looking it over.
Well, don't worry so much about the code that's going to go in there. Just come into GitHub and make those two repos. So come up here in the top right in GitHub and create the new repository. So make a capstone dash front end and a capstone dash back end. And if you don't have code to put in the back end, not a big deal. We'll
Just
work on that this week.
repositories. Okay,
Yep, just make it for now. Yep. Strajay, how are you? How are you doing? Capstone front end, cool.
That's why I was asking, what do you want it? Because I know yesterday when I didn't upload blog.frontend, it didn't show up on your thing here. So I'm just re-editing because I've created it, but I had changed the name so that it shows on your
The capstone dash front end.
Yeah, I just literally edited it and it showed before you asked me because I had it changed as a different name.
Do you mind also making a capstone dash backend?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my deploy board might be messed up. Oh no, it picked up the front end. It just takes it a minute because this board is kind of slow to update, but it will get there eventually. I think that's it. I think everybody will be all cut up except it's my winning season. Remind me who?
Danielle.
Oh, Danielle.
That's me. I'm working on it. I'll catch
Okay.
up. Thank you.
Yep, no rush. Okay. So once you have those two things created, make sure you come in here to GitHub Desktop. You click on the repo picker, clone down those two that you made, and then let's talk about code. I know I've drilled this into people's heads, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands this. When we clone repos down from GitHub, we're creating a special folder on our computer. And that special folder, once we move our code for our capstone in there, that special folder is where we need to work. That special folder is where we need to run our code, open up Visual Studio, make changes. So as we copy code into these special folders, it's important that we don't make the mistake of editing our old code. So wherever your capstone stuff is located on your computer, let's bring them over into these capstone folders. If you have code for the back end, great. If you don't, no big deal. If you have code for the front end, great. If you don't, also not a big deal. But whatever you've got for the capstone right now, if it's running, I don't care if it's not running, whatever you have for your capstone, let's put it in these repos. I haven't even started on my front end, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on my capstone front end.
Would you mind running us through the terminal commands to copy that code over if we have the code?
Yeah, absolutely. And also don't feel like you're obligated to use the terminal. I mean, I applaud you for, and it's a good skill to have, but you're never too good to use the Find Your Windows either. But yes, totally. Let me show you how to do the capstone, or how to move files. I'm actually going to use. I'm going to make a folder. Call it temp, cd to temp. Okay. This is just on my computer. Nobody else needs to do this. I'm just going to show you, if you were in a folder that had your capstone code, how you might move it over. So first off, I'm going to create a React app, a brand new empty React app. Hopefully this doesn't take too long.
So this I would want to do then.
No. I am generating some front end code so I can have something to show you, something to actually move.
Okay.
Okay, let me cd into this folder. Cool. Does this look familiar to anybody? When I run this ls, the files in here, does this look familiar to anybody?
Yes.
What does this look like?
Just the contents of the folder.
Contents of the folder, right?
Package.json.
What? Yeah, package.json. What does that give you a
That's
hint?
that's what you just did is React. That's React stuff.
That's React, exactly. If we look at our package.json, we can see, sure enough, it's got dependencies on React, React DOM. So this is front end code that I'm looking at. So let's say that on your computer, you're in your terminal and you're sitting in the folder where your front end code for your capstone is. Does anybody remember what the two arguments to the copy command are?
The file destination.
Right. What you want to move, where you want to move it to.
Mhm.
So if we wanted to grab all of the files where we're currently at in the terminal, what would we put there? Does anybody know?
Is that the word yesterday?
Would it be dot slash star?
Ooh. So you're saying I want to grab everything right where I'm at in this folder using the star to capture everything, saying I want everything. I don't know if that will work. I think it will. Alternatively, you could just say star. Star means everything where I'm at as well. I think that dot/star would also work. Let's find out. Where do we want to send this to? Where do we want to send our capstone front end code that we've been working on? Does anybody remember the path?
Documents, GitHub, maybe,
Yes.
something like that.
Yep. So tilde, which means our home folder /documents/GitHub. Remember that this is the special path to our Git repos, GitHub, and then capstone. This is front end code, so I'm going to go and put in the capstone front end folder. All right, let's see. Does anybody know what this error means? It's complaining about finding node modules, public and source. It's complaining about these things being directories.
Wasn't there a recursive?
Yep.
We had to include somehow.
So if we were just to move regular files, not directories, regular files, this command would work. But we have directories in, we have directories where we're copying from. So if you want to copy over everything, you need to use the -r, the recursive flag. Okay. And then I'm just going to take the location where we sent our code, and I'm just going to copy paste that. I'm going to CD directly to that and do an LS. And sure enough, my front end code is now in my GitHub repo, the Capstone front end repo. If I open up GitHub desktop, we see a whole bunch of code just got added. I don't want to track my Git modules or my node modules. So I'm going to open up a git ignore. Tell Git that I want to ignore the node modules folder. Save, come back, and we're down to 18 changed files. Now I can make a commit and push it. Zach, did that help answer your question?
Yeah, let me double check, but I think I got it.
Okay. Start off, good idea to use the copy command first, because if you use the MV command, the move, you might run into a situation where you accidentally move it somewhere you didn't intend, and then you might get yourself in trouble. Adding my Capstone front end. Commit, push. So I have some front end code now set up in my Capstone front end repo. I would like others to also move whatever Capstone code that you have currently, move it into your Capstone front end folder. And that folder again is located here, and I'll paste that into Zoom chat. That is where you want to put your Capstone front end code.
Hey, quick question. So if we're deciding to just like copy over our files, will that get ignored pop up in the repository section as well, or?
You've got to make the file.
And how do we do that?
You have two options. You can either use the terminal and make an empty file using the touch command, or even easier is to come in to Visual Studio Code. So let me back up for a second and go to GitHub Desktop. Okay, from GitHub Desktop, go to the repo that you want to add the git ignore to. Click the open in VS Code. You should see something kind of like this. Let me get rid of my git ignore. Once you're in here, you should be able to click this button, or you can right click anywhere and hit new file. Create a .git ignore file, throw the code modules in there. Did I answer your question?
Yes, it did. So I started adding it and realized it's all here, and it say that I got 36,310 changed files, but I didn't push anything yet. So is there a way for me to just like go out, or do I have to like delete all of those first and then?
You're doing it just right. Make the git ignore file in there, and those 3,000 something files will disappear.
So just open up I'm sorry, don't kill me. I think my is not. So I'm in here. It got everything lined up here. Is there a way for me to just go back out and hit open up VS Code, or do I?
Yeah, totally. Do you mind sharing your screen?
Yep. 1 second. Share screen. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing just fine. This is the screen that you should be at. It's just kind of hard to get to VS Code when you have these changes. So to get to VS Code, click up in the menu. Do you see the repository up in the menu bar up at the top of your screen? File, edit, view, repository. Do you see the repository? Click on the open in VS Code. Yeah, exactly.
And then
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
dot git ignore. Ignore, yep. Enter. And then the path is node underscore modules slash perfect save. And then if you go back to GitHub desktop, you should see those files. They just drop away.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. Don't forget to commit and push.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Nathan,
Yes.
I'll be right back. My Zoom is like freezing, so I can hear you, but my screen will not stay loaded. So I'm just going to log out quick and hop in.
Cool. No problem. Is anybody else having problems getting their front end code into their capstone repo?
I think I might be a little bit behind, but I should just have like 5 changes, right?
Yeah, if you haven't done much for your front end code, then you won't have much to bring over, which is totally fair.
Okay. Yeah, I only have 5 changes on my back end, but I have 1 second. I have 34 changes on my front end.
Oh, cool. Yeah. If you were able to, yeah, sorry. The server is not going to have as much code. Remember, React comes with a whole bunch of stuff when you create it, so it's going to generate a bunch of files. The server, we just kind of have the server, the DB. There's not as many files there. So that sounds right to me. Yeah, sounds like you're doing it exactly.
Thank you.
Yes, Danielle.
I have a question. Both the online version of GitHub as well as the desktop version of GitHub is acting very glitchy. Like when I click on it, it just comes up as a blank white screen. Do you think this has anything to do with the fact that there's absolutely no space left on my operating system?
It sounds very likely. It sounds like a prime culprit.
Friday, I'm gonna get more space, but for right now, it's like I've been trying this for the longest. And
Question: do you know what's eating up all your disk space?
I have no idea because I even deleted Postman recently. But I really don't want to leave you behind because we're gonna build on top of well, we're trying to do deploys today. I really don't want to leave you behind. Is there a way that we can figure this out quickly? Is there any way you can get a little bit more disk space? Yeah, I guess I'll delete something and then see what it'll do.
Christy?
I know that Wayne and I had an issue where our stuff was saving into the stuff on the desktop was saving into the cloud, and Max had to go in and do something so to stop it from saving on the cloud, and so that whatever we put on our desktop wouldn't save there, because that was eating my space too. So I'm wondering if that is the same thing, or if Danielle had a meeting with Max where he stopped the things from saving on her cloud. So, and then remember when I met with you and I was telling you where my stuff was archived and then I had to bring it back and put it on the desktop. So I don't know if that's the same issue that we had.
I'm not sure, Christy, but I'll definitely check and figure it out. Thank you so much.
Right next to your files, is there a cloud? Like if you go into your Finder and you look at your files, are there clouds next to every file?
No.
Then if you click the Apple symbol up in the top left and then about this Mac, and then you click on storage, you can see a breakdown of what's on your hard drive and what's taking up all your space. And then there's a manage button that you can click and it'll ask you to like delete certain files and stuff.
Okay, I see that here and I will do that. Thank you so much, you guys, for your help.
You're welcome.
Well, Danielle, we'll keep going, but let's not, don't let us get too far ahead. Make sure that you check in and let us know if you get those GitHub repos going.
Will do. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So at this point, we all should be around have the step where we have created those GitHub repos. Hopefully folks have started to move their code into those special folders. And one more time, just to reiterate, after you move your code in there, make sure that that is where you do your work on your capstone from here on out. Okay, let's get into it. Larry, yes.
Yeah, I don't have any code in my front end. So do I just need to create a React app real quick and then move that over there?
Yeah, do it. Do that. That's for anybody that doesn't have any front end code yet for their capstone. Let's do what I did and make some. So you wouldn't necessarily need to copy it over if you don't have any code at all. Just go into Documents, GitHub /capstone front end, go in here directly and say npx create React app. And that will create all of the scaffolding for your for a React app. So that can be the start for your capstone. And the command for that is in chat.
Then just React. I mean, because normally we put a name of the application after the React app.
Oh, good point. Yeah. So yeah, you need to pass it a name as an argument. Good catch.
All right.
And on that same vein, when you create the React app, it's going to put it inside of a folder. Take whatever is in that folder and bring it up to the capstone front end level. Don't so for example, if you were to do npx create app client, it would create a client folder and everything would be inside of that client folder. So it would look like this, capstone front end /client, and that's where all of your files would be. Take all of your files and move them up out of the client folder. So something like this. So take everything here and bring it here. You don't want your front end code nested in another folder. You want it sitting right here at the top level of capstone -front end. Does that make sense? And this is for Heroku, and I'll show that here in a minute. Heroku gets really upset if you try to deploy something, and when you deploy, your code is not sitting at the root level. Just like GitHub Pages gets really upset if you create a repo and you don't have an index.html at the top level of your repo. Each of these deployment platforms expects to find something in order to deploy. Okay. So let's jump into deploying the blog first. So what we're going to go over today is I'm going to talk really briefly about the other kinds of deployment platforms. For office hours this weekend, I'm hoping to do a bit more of a deeper dive on other deployment platforms if people are interested in that, specifically AWS and Google. Yes, Zach.
If we moved our code into the capstone front end, capstone back end folders, and we don't have the node modules in that folder, do we have to do npm I, or do we have to do the command you input to chat earlier?
Not the npx command, just npm I. So if I go here, and this is for everybody, if you lose your node modules for some reason, for example, I'm deleting my node modules. If you don't have them, you can say npm install, or for a shortcut, npm I, and it will go and fetch and recreate that folder for you. Same thing for the back end.
So we have to do that regardless when we're moving our files over, you were saying?
It depends. If you copy over your node modules folder with everything into your GitHub repo, then you won't have to run npm install. This is only if you lose your node modules folder or it gets destroyed for some reason.
Oh, so if you
Okay.
see your node modules when you, but it has to get ignored, then you don't need to do the npm I.
Well, you need to npm install and have a node modules folder so you can run your code. So if you don't have node,
I have a folder that says no modules, but then I have get ignore under it.
yeah, great. So you're just telling Git that you can ignore that folder, but you need that folder on your machine so that you can run your code. You could do npm run or npm run start.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
You need those libraries in order to power your application. That's what they're there for.
Okay.
Somebody else had a question I didn't see.
You showed him how to do that if you don't have code for the front end and terminal. But my question is, you still have to do this if you don't have the front end, because I'm not creating my files through the terminal. So I'm just wondering, how would I be adding the React app to my front end?
So do you have any code for your front end yet for your capstone?
No, not that I want to upload, no.
Okay. Well, the only way to create React code is through the terminal. So you'll need to come in and run this npx command to create the React boilerplate that you could use to start your capstone.
Right, okay.
To do that, to create that code, you will cd into your capstone front end folder. So this path right here. So you'll open up the terminal and you'll do cd. We will be installing and training you on a new system that we're calling the Wizard. And then in the terminal, you'll say npx create React app.
Okay.
So those two commands. Yes, Zach.
I'm getting an error saying that there's no directory for package.json, but I do have that as a directory in my backend.
Do you mind sharing your screen really quick?
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm getting this.
No such file or directory package.json, right? So it's reading that and it's saying that there is no file package.json. Now do an ls right where you're at in the terminal. What's the problem?
It's not there.
It's not there, right? Where is it? Where are you looking in VS Code? Can you see what path VS Code has open? So the package.json that's currently on your screen is inside the home-screen-backend folder.
Oh, okay.
So I would honestly, to make things as easy as possible, I would bring everything in that home-screen-backend up one level.
Okay.
Be careful, because as you bring this up, notice that you already have a package lock JSON in the parent folder. It's going to ask you if you want to replace it. You should probably say yes, because you want to bring that one with you. Yep,
Yeah.
Replace it. And then just delete the home screen -backend folder. Nice. Okay, yeah, you should be good with npm install.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a line. Never mind.
Sorry, who else has a question?
That was me. Question. When you say work on your code inside of Git, like what do you like mean by that? Since we're used to working in like VS Code, like what does that mean?
That means, let me show you. Let me share my screen. Good question. Thank you for asking. Because I've said that a number of times and I probably haven't been very clear about it. So when you say that you've been working in Visual Studio Code, I want you to continue to work in VS Code. But the difference is when you launch VS Code, so right now I'm going to close out of all of my VS Codes. So VS Code is completely closed right now. I'm going to go into GitHub Desktop. And let's say I want to work on my front end code. I'm going to click over here and switch to the front end because that's what I want to work on. And then I'm going to come up here to the tab and I'm going to open in Visual Studio Code. That is what I mean. I want you to launch your VS Code from here in GitHub Desktop. Because when you launch it from here in when you launch it here from GitHub Desktop, it's going to open up VS Code in that special folder.
Gotcha.
And that's what I mean by working inside of your Git repo.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Who else? Sorry, I don't have I can't easily see the window. So if you could just go off mute and ask your question, that would be easier for me.
Can I share my screen? Because I'm not sure. I don't have anything from my front end, but I think I did it wrong.
Please do.
So when you were talking through the terminal part, I did this, but was all this supposed to be up one level, like out here?
Oh, okay. So you have a capstone front end within a capstone front end.
Yeah.
Okay. Come up one level in Finder. So go back, I guess, and then back one more. So this is in the GitHub folder. Okay, so what you're looking at right here is each of the special folders. So the capstone front end, that is your special folder. Click into that. This is where you should see package.json, package lock, source, all of that stuff. So you're right, you're one level too far. So grab all of this with Command X maybe to just cut it. Or copy, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Yep. Replace.
Yikes.
It's those node modules. They're so heavy. After this is done, Stephanie, after this is done, you should be able to right click that capstone front end folder that you pulled this out of and delete that.
Okay.
Don't forget to delete it because it's looking like that folder is pretty big.
Yeah. And then what do I do after that?
After that, you would work inside this folder like usual with your capstone on your front end capstone code. Also, it would probably be...
Oh my God, which window is it? Well, never mind, I lost it. Is that what we were supposed to be putting on the GitHub desktop thing?
Yes. Yes. It would also be smart to make a commit and push just so you have all of your files saved on GitHub as well.
Okay.
And that is this icon down here. This little deal right there. If you want to open up GitHub desktop.
There we go.
But yeah, this front end folder, yep, that right there, this is that special folder that we were just working in. I would make sure though that copy is completely done before you do anything otherwise.
Okay. And then do the same thing where I ignore node modules.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Nicole?
I think I forgot. Hold on a second. So, okay, I pushed everything up, and now is our next step that we're going to be like, we should have our VS Code for both of them open, or are we doing something different?
We're not coding just yet.
Sounds
Sounds like you're all caught up though.
Okay.
Danielle, did you get some free space?
Yes, that's, I was just letting you know. At first, it looked like that it was about 3 or 4 zipped files that I forgot to delete, and so they were taking up. They were huge zip files, like the Chrome and all of that. They were taking up the space.
So do you have the GitHub repos created for your capstone?
Oh, I was muted. I'm sorry. I'm working on that now. Sorry.
Okay, okay, cool. Let us know if we could help. Anybody else have a question?
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking too hard, I think. So because I'm not finding I'm in terminal
Yeah,
and
share your screen. Show us what you got.
and I'm trying to find my front end to move over or whatever, but I don't know it. I can't see it in here. So what did I miss a step when I created the repo? Was I supposed to clone it for it to create a
Yes. Yes. Can you share your screen really quick?
Why their dishwasher doesn't get everything clean. I tell them it may be your detergent. That's why more dishwasher brands recommend Cascade Platinum.
Cool.
Can you see?
Show us the terminal.
It's right here.
I am looking at activity monitor.
Oh, this is the wrong screen. And I don't even know how that even. I don't know. I have any clue how that got up here. Okay. Can you see?
Yep. So you are missing a space between the CD and the tilde.
Okay.
But do an ls right here. Show us what you have inside of documents. Okay. And CD into GitHub. So type in CD space D. Yep. And then do an ls in here. What's in this folder? You have blog front end and blog back end. So we need to clone down. We need to make those 2 special folders. So open up GitHub desktop. It's right behind you. You already are in the right spot. Yeah. So click that refresh icon. There you go.
Okay, that's
Yep,
what
grab both of these.
so I can clone.
Yeah, you gotta do one at a time. It's back end, cool. Let's grab the front end.
I did the
Nice.
back.
That's it, the front end. Great. Okay, now we can go back to the terminal. Do an ls here. Let's see, has this folder changed?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There it is, capstone dash front end. So CD into capstone dash front end.
Wait, what'd you say?
CD space and then capstone dash front end. Let's go into that folder. Capstone dash front end. Okay, enter. Yep. And then let's do the npx create React app command. Create dash React dash app. Space. And then we also have to give it a name, as Larry pointed out. So press up to go to the previous command, space, and then let's just call it app for right now. Okay, enter. Yep. And then this is going to think for a minute. Strajay, once that is done, I have one more command for you to run in the terminal. I want you to run that after all that's done.
Okay.
Zach.
I'm sorry, I'm having so many issues. It's not letting me commit my front end, but it is letting me commit my back end. When I try to commit my front end, I'm getting this error message.
untracked files home screen. Okay, just hit close. Push origin. This, yeah, click that up in the top left. And then home screen, remember that's the directory, the empty directory, right? Wasn't it an empty directory in the front end? So show me in Finder this Capstone front end. Capstone front end, yep. Home dash screen, what's in that folder? Just to read me. So are you good with deleting that? Do you need it?
I don't think so. Should I just drag and drop it here, replace this one, and then delete the home screen folder?
Yeah, if you like that, if that README is more useful, yeah. Yep, then delete that.
I think that might have been the one that I just created.
But this is perfect. This front end folder is perfect. You want to have your SRC, your package JSON. This should be the top level for your front end code. This looks great. Click behind you. Is GitHub Desktop happy now? Now it sees that you've changed the README. That looks sane to me. If you want to commit and push that up, you should be on the right track.
Cool. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Otherwise, we're going to talk about some deploy. We're going to push some code, some blog code. All right. Yeah, I'm going to give a brief overview of deployment platforms, and then we're going to talk about deploying stuff on Heroku. I know I already talked to everyone about this in week 7, but I want to pose the question once again. Why don't we just run our apps from the comfort of our MacBooks? Why don't we just let customers reach our websites on our Macs?
They can probably do some stuff to your computer.
And it would probably be taxing on your computer.
Yeah. If you were running Facebook, could you get away with doing that on your MacBook?
Not at all.
No, I don't think Mark would let you do that. I don't think you'd have enough computers in your house to be able to run a website and serve that much traffic. But security is definitely one of the main concerns. I know most people kind of joke about how Macs don't get viruses. You know, it's supposed to be the age-old saying for Mac computers, but they get viruses all the time. Would I feel safe exposing my Mac on the public internet for anybody to be able to reach? No, not at all. These machines are not really meant for that. So in general, it's just a bad idea. There's also practical concerns. Macs go to sleep. You know, if you don't do anything on your laptop for a while, it's going to go to sleep. It's going to shut down and go to sleep. That would technically knock your website offline because, you know, your Mac would be trying to preserve battery power or trying to preserve the screen life. So it's just, in general, it's not a great idea for us to serve our traffic from our personal computers. Instead, we rent out servers. We pay to have someone else run the infrastructure. We pay for the privilege to run our code inside of these massive data centers that are provided to us by companies like Google and Amazon and DigitalOcean and so on and so forth. What we talked about, though, in week 7 is we talked about file hosting. And when I say file hosting, GitHub Pages falls into this category. You have a set of files, index.html, styles.css. You have these known artifacts, these files that you give to GitHub Pages, and GitHub Pages puts them on the internet, and people just download them. It's really the simplest form of hosting that you can get. You know, you're not doing any expensive computations yourself. You're just putting the files on the internet, people are downloading them. And then my question to all of you is, who in that scenario is doing the expensive computation? Who is running the code?
GitHub Pages.
GitHub Pages isn't, it's a good thought, but GitHub Pages isn't actually running the code. GitHub Pages is just providing the code. It's providing the index.html. It's letting people download it. Who is actually running the code?
The packages that we put in.
The person that downloads the code is running it, right?
Right.
Computer.
When you put your index.html, when you put your JavaScript files, when you put your CSS, when you push all these things up to GitHub Pages, other people are downloading them, and then they're running that code inside of their browser. They're rendering your index, they're rendering your CSS, they're running your JavaScript code. Does that make sense? File hosting is just as simple as it can get. File hosting, you put your stuff up, people download it, and then they run it. That won't work for us with Node.js. People don't run Node.js server code. The Node.js code runs on a server. It can't be run by people's browsers, which means that we can no longer use the file hosting for our capstone or for our portfolio if we're also using a backend for our portfolio. So we need something more. We need something better. We need something more than just serving this HTML and CSS and JavaScript, because we have, again, Node.js files. We also have, what else do we have along with Node.js that we have to consider? Postgres, right. We have a database. Can we expect our customers to run our database for us? Can we expect everybody to have a copy of our database schema, have all of our users and all of our blog posts and all of those rows? Can we expect all of our customers to bring their own database so they can run our code?
No.
No, that doesn't make any sense. You know, why would the customers bring their database? No, we have to provide the database. We have to provide the server code. So it's for these logistical reasons that we can't use GitHub Pages for our backend, at least. We can continue to use GitHub Pages if we want for our front end, but we can't use it for our backend. Which brings me into another class of deployment providers or hosts. You know, kind of in terms of complexity, at the lowest tier, you have the file hosting, which is usually a free service that lots of people provide. GitHub Pages falls into that category. But then on top of file hosting, you have this application hosting. And application hosting is capable of running your app. And when we say app, we're typically talking about backend code. Some popular ones that you might have heard of: Google App Engine is a very popular application host. DigitalOcean has some application hosting offerings, and Heroku is kind of another big competitor in the space. I think most people here kind of understand what the back end is doing, but I just want to reiterate, you know, we're not really dealing with these static files anymore. We're trying to dynamically serve content. So we're making the switch from static files to serving up dynamic code. And this dynamic code is things like in the blog example, when you go and create a blog, the content on the front page changes. You know, you could see the blogs that were entered in into the blog application. So we're shifting from kind of this static file hosting to more of this dynamic application hosting. So enter Heroku. Heroku is the place where we can go to upload our backend. At least we're also going to upload our front end. Last cohort, we had students that also mixed GitHub pages in here. So some students used Heroku for just the backend and GitHub pages for the front end. This cohort, I'm going to ask people to mainly use Heroku for everything. If you want to use GitHub pages for your portfolio and your stuff still works from week 7, by all means, keep doing that. But for your capstone, we're going to do all of the front end and back end code through Heroku. And so, yeah, Heroku, we're gonna give them our business and do our deploys through them. It's not going to cost us anything yet. I will talk about that as we get a little bit further, because just like everything else, you know, there's ways that they'll try to get you in to spend a little bit of money, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so everyone, do me a favor and go ahead and open up this link. I'll paste this into chat if you don't have the slides open.
Nathan, I had a question.
Yes.
So application hosting is for both front end, or both back end and front end?
Yes.
So static or non-static files?
Yes, exactly. Application hosting, if we're kind of talking about the tiers here, static file is sort of at the bottom, and static file can only serve static files, so only a front end. Application hosting is one level above. It encompasses all of static file hosting. So anything you can do with GitHub pages, you can also do inside of Heroku. Hopefully that makes sense.
Is there anything specific we're supposed to put for the role, or no? It could be whatever you want to be.
The role?
Yeah, it's like a role requirement. Like if you're a professional developer, a student, a technical person, or business.
Software developer. Don't lie. Tell them you're software developers.
Professional software developer? Professional developer?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
do you think this class is full of hobbyists? We are much more than hobbyists or enthusiasts. We are professionals.
Do we put a hack date for careers and code for company?
It doesn't really matter. If you want, feel free to.
No, would Node.js be the primary language, or it doesn't matter either?
It doesn't really matter, but I think that they'll try to spit out tutorials at you. So we're not going to go through those tutorials. So you can kind of click around them if you want.
We had that has a red asterisk, so we have to pick something.
Okay. Well, pick whatever you feel comfortable with.
Wait. So if we click Node.js, you're saying they're gonna send us tutorials about Node.js?
Yeah, I don't really know. It's been a long time since I signed up for a Heroku account. If I recall, whatever language I picked, as soon as I logged in, it tried to show me a tutorial or something, but it's been a while. All that really matters is if you could get to a screen that looks something like this, dashboard.heroku.com. It should be empty. Mine just has some stuff already, but
I'm sorry, I probably missed it. What was the primary language?
you can put whatever you want, but probably Node.js makes sense. Once you've got a Heroku account, recall back in week 7, we installed Brew. Hopefully you still have Brew installed. This is the command to install the Heroku CLI. We're going to be doing some stuff with the terminal today in order to deploy. Here is the command to run. If you have Brew installed, you should see something kind of like this. On my terminal, it will spit out a whole bunch of stuff saying updated formula CAS, You should have a whole lot more stuff than I do because I already have Heroku installed. But this is just to give you an idea of the kind of output you should see in your terminal. If you don't see something like this, if you see something like command not found or command not recognized, then we need to install brew real quick for you. So just tell me if you run into that.
Do you need to run that anywhere in the terminal?
You can run it anywhere you like. You don't have to be in a specific location.
Okay.
It says create a new app or create a team.
When you ran the brew install?
Oh no, I'm on the Heroku page.
Oh, yep. Great. Just leave it there.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't think that I have that.
Brew.
Yes.
So to install brew, oops. To install brew, you run this command right here, and I'm just pasting this in the Zoom chat. Did you see that command?
Yes.
So copy that command and paste it into the terminal and hit enter. That should give you brew. Stephanie.
When we post that into terminal, because right now I'm in my capstone front end folder, is that where it goes or where does it matter?
You can run that. You can run that command anywhere you want. Are you running the brew command to install Heroku, or are you installing brew?
I don't know. Whatever that line was that you just showed on the screen behind there.
Oh, this, so you didn't have brew installed?
How do you know if you have it installed?
You can go to your terminal and just say brew. Oops. Get this off my screen. There we go. You could just go into any old terminal and type brew and hit enter. And if you have it installed, it will spit out this text.
I guess I do have it. Yeah.
Oh, great. Then don't do the bin bash command. Just do this brew tap Heroku brew install Heroku. Run that command.
Okay.
If you run that command and you have it successfully complete, you should then be able to run the Heroku command. And if you have Heroku installed, it should spit out this whole thing saying, CLI to interact with Heroku. Here's all the things you can do with it.
So I had to step away for a second, but the bin bash is the second command after, or am I doing a Heroku autocomplete, or I don't know.
Do you have brew installed, Nicole?
Yeah.
Great. Don't do that. Don't do that last command. That was just for somebody that needed to install brew.
Oh, okay.
Do the brew tap command and test after that's done. Test that Heroku works by typing in Heroku in your terminal.
Okay. So can you show me the tap one?
Yeah. It's
hold on, the chat is covering the whole screen. Okay, good.
That one right there.
Oh no, I did that one right.
Oh, okay. So in your terminal, can you type in Heroku and does it show something that looks kind of like this?
Yeah, it did it. It just did it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yep. So once you've gotten here, once you have the Heroku command, the first command we're going to use is Heroku login. So you say Heroku login, and it's going to say press any key to open up the browser to log in, and you can hit any key. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to open up a window in my browser saying login. I'm going to click that. It will say logged in, and I go back to my terminal. It's going to say that I'm logged in as, and then my email. So Heroku login, you only need to do this once every couple of months. You stay logged in for quite a while, but this command is just linking up your terminal with the Heroku website so you can deploy. So you can send your app to the cloud.
Got a non-related question, Nathan. Should system data be taking up 120 something gigabytes?
System data, are you talking about here in the storage?
Yeah.
Where do you find system data?
Well, when I went to like storage, it shows different things that are taken up. So if you go back a level, I guess. Yeah, so in there, mine says system
39?
data. I got like 127 gigabytes. I don't know why.
That's pretty crazy. I don't know why either. My computer is relatively new, so I think that's why mine's so low, but no idea.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of curious to see. Yeah, it doesn't have a way to explore system data. Anyways. Anybody having problems with the brew command? Anybody having problems getting to the Heroku login?
I'm not so much having problems with the Heroku login. It's more so, am I able to run that command again? Because when I ran the command, it populated the Heroku login page, but it said invalid request. And I noticed that I had not replied to the email yet. So can I just run it again?
Yeah, run it again. Yep, Heroku login, and then oops.
After you logged in, it will just say what your screen is looking like.
Yeah, after you log in, click the button, come back. It should populate this. Oh, invalid request. Let me close this. Heroku login. Yes. Login. Please run Heroku login. Is anybody else getting this invalid request?
No. Oh.
No.
I did, but it was user error.
I got invalid.
Yeah.
After the
But I will figure out what's up with my stuff here in a second. Who else has a question? Shantina, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure mine installed, it looks like in my capstone. Like I didn't have it all the way back, to the main to the desktop or to the computer. Should I have installed it there instead?
It doesn't matter where you run the command from.
Okay. And so then after I run, I had to do the bin bash thing. I
Okay.
ran that. Then what was the next step? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, you're good. The next step is this brew tap, and I'll paste it again.
And that goes
Yeah,
on the terminal.
It does. Yep. And you can run that anywhere you want.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me know once you paste and run that command. Is it doing stuff in the terminal?
Let's see. Yeah, it's moving.
Okay, great. After that command finishes, then do the Heroku login. You should be all good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Danielle?
Oh, I'm sorry, I just forgot to lower my hand.
Oh, okay. Stranjay?
After I ran Heroku, the brew tap Heroku, it gave me an error of invalid usage.
Do you mind showing me? Okay. Does anybody want to take a guess before I do at what this error might mean? Anybody else?
I don't know. Like this is brew tap option, user repo URL tap formula
Where
repository.
does she put the command in at?
The hint is right here. ZSH, command not found Heroku.
So it's not installed then.
Right. So we aren't yet to the Heroku command step. So we need to back up a second and find out, well, why didn't Heroku install? So Stranjay, if you could scroll up just a little bit. Scroll up just a tad. Sorry, in the window. Going. So it looks like the brew tap worked. Oh, do brew install Heroku. Type out brew space install space Heroku. Space, okay, and then yep, drop the login. Heroku, perfect. Yep. Command not found. So the tap worked, but the install for Heroku didn't work. Give this a second, and then once this finishes, run Heroku login. Okay.
Wait, so you said Heroku didn't install?
It didn't, and that's what we're doing right now, is we're doing the brew install Heroku, so it should install.
Okay, what did you just do that it's now installing? That's what I'm confused about. What happened? 'Cause I
Well,
thought
if you go scroll back up to the original command, I can see the error. If you scroll back up to the original command that you ran, so see right here, this was the command that you did: brew tap, Heroku brew, and brew install Heroku. That line right there. The issue is right here, and it's not the word and, it's the 2 ampersands sign. Just like in programming in JavaScript, if you wanted to chain a condition together, it would be the 2 ampersands together. Okay. So now I think Brew is probably finished installing Heroku. You should be able to do Heroku login and be good. Zach, did you fix your error?
Can you mute?
Oh, sorry.
I'm pretty sure I've got them both installed. Can I share my screen?
Heroku login? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have this, so I think that's good. But
great.
Type in brew and I get this. So
great. Yeah, it looks great. You were able to Heroku login. You're all set.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else?
Can you just remind me where we're supposed to be at again?
Yeah, Stranjay, before I do, Stranjay, are you good, or do you have another question?
It says no available formula with the name Heroku after I ran that, and yeah. So I don't know.
and paste this into your terminal verbatim. I'm about to paste it into Zoom. Verbatim. Run that. Nicole, were you asking for a reminder where we should be at?
Just at the email, right? You're supposed to have our email shown in terminal.
Yes, you should be able to run Heroku login successfully.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Make sure. Not sure why mine's not working. Heroku login, invalid request. Make sure that you have the latest command. Let's see. Nobody needs to be doing this. I'm doing it for me. Okay, there we go. I'm
Can't see
logged
your
in.
screen anyways.
Oh, thank you. I
You're
should
welcome.
probably share my screen. All right, let's deploy some stuff. Hopefully everybody's at the stage where they could do the Heroku login. Stranjay, were you able to brew install successfully? Did you get the Heroku login? Boom. Okay, let's move on. Let's actually deploy some stuff. So we're gonna go and deploy the blog. Let's do the blog front end first. Come back to the slides really quick. If you are having trouble and want a reminder for the instructions that we just went through, they're also here in the slides. You don't have to dig around in Zoom chat. Okay, let's get to it. Heroku kind of behaves a little bit like Git in that we need to create special boxes for our app to go into. And I would like for folks to follow this format when they create their apps. So when you go to create the blog front end, use your GitHub username. If you don't know what your GitHub username is, go to github.com and copy it out from here. But what we're going to do is go to dashboard.heroku.com. I'll grab this link right here so everyone can see it. We're going to the Heroku website and we're going to click the create new app. So coming to dashboard.heroku.com. Ignore this for a second while I delete it so you can follow along with me. Delete. There we go. All right. So you should be at this screen on the dashboard. Over here on the right, click new, create new app. Don't click the pipeline, click app, create new app. And then for the app name, start off by using your GitHub username. Stranjay, did you have a question or did you not lower it? You're muted. Start off with your app name with GitHub username and then blog dash front end. Should say that it's available. Click create app. You should see a screen kind of like this. Again, the format is GitHub username dash blog dash front end.
My GitHub username has capital letters and it says the name should only contain lowercase letters.
So convert to lowercase, yep.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody having trouble creating their first Heroku app? Okay. Now we're going to go and deploy our code for the front end, the blog front end. So how do we get to our code for the blog front end? What does the workflow look like? If we wanted to write and develop and edit our front end blog code, where would we go?
To get
Yes. So we would come down, click on GitHub Desktop. On the left, switch to the blog front end repo. You might have a screen like this if you've committed and pushed.
Sorry, do you add the pipeline too or no?
When you're creating an app, create an app. Go to and click here, create new app. Is that the question?
Yeah, but within the naming part, there's add pipeline and then create app after. Yep. Just create app.
Oh yeah, don't click the add to pipeline button, just create app, yes. And leave the region as United States.
Thanks.
Mhm. So you should be sitting here on the dashboard.
Oh.
So we need to, go ahead.
Were we supposed to have like dash blog front end or capstone or just the name?
We're doing the blog first, so
Alright,
it should
hold
be
on.
your GitHub username -blog -front end.
Oh, I missed that, but okay.
It's okay. If you messed up, click on the settings page, go down to the bottom, click delete app, type in whatever you've got. That will help you get rid of this one and then just go recreate it.
Oh, it gave me an option to fix the name right there in the app name.
Oh, shoot. It's right up here at the top.
Yeah.
That works too. Yeah, great.
Thanks.
And when we go to the desktop Heroku, does it take us to our own account because we logged in through terminal?
No, it takes you to that because you logged into the website when you created the account. The terminal, the Heroku login terminal deal is so that we can run some commands here in a second from the terminal as a logged in user.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you are on this deploy tab right here, we'll have some instructions for you. The first instruction we've already, yes, go ahead, Daniel.
No, I didn't want to interrupt, but my username is so long that it's not allowing me to put the dash front end on the end. Is that okay? If
That's
it just
okay.
says capstone -f.
Chop off from, I want you to spell out front end because that's important so you know that that's your front end app. So chop off characters from your GitHub username. Does that make sense?
All right. Thank you. Mhm.
Yeah. All right, so we should be sitting here. The first command that it tells us in order to deploy is to do Heroku login. We've all done a Heroku login, so that part's done. Now let's go and work on our code. So to work on our code, we would open up GitHub Desktop. In the repo picker, we would switch to blog front end. That's what we're going to deploy to Heroku. Okay, and then open in Visual Studio Code. So you should be sitting at some code for your front end blog.
Can you walk through that one more time? That was kind of fast for me. I missed
Yeah. Open up GitHub Desktop. So come down here, open up GitHub Desktop. Make sure that the repo that you're currently working on is the front end, the blog front end, not the capstone, but the blog.
Okay.
And then if you have a screen like this, you could just click open in VS Code, or if you have some changes, just come up here to the top and click open in VS Code. Either one of these two will work.
Okay, I'm all there.
Cool. So from here, we can make changes to our code. The other thing that we need to do, we've got the code opened up here. The other thing we need to do is we need to open up in a terminal this folder. So I think there's a way to do that in VS Code. I think you can right click here and say open in terminal, and that will put you in a terminal right in this folder. Is that something that people are kind of used to, is opening up a terminal here?
Yeah.
So you can do that like this. I'm personally going to open up my terminal application and do it through here. But the gist is you want to be at the folder for your blog front end. So I'm going to just do it in my terminal. Blog dash front end PWD. So this is where I'm at on my computer. So you want to be inside the GitHub folder / blog dash front end. However you want to get there in a terminal is fine with me. Daniel, do you have another question?
No, I just forgot to.
Nope, no
put my hand-
worries.
Thank you.
Mine doesn't say Git, but it is the blog front end, and I got to it through the GitHub desktop. So I just don't, where yours has documents, Git, blog front end, mine doesn't say that.
If it doesn't say documents GitHub, then you're not in the right spot.
Right, but I'm saying in my terminal, I went through the GitHub desktop to get there.
So if you opened up VS Code, just to be safe, take VS Code and close it. So Command Q your VS Code window. So Command Q is going to close everything for VS Code. Go back to GitHub Desktop and click Open in VS Code. It should start up a new window. And then we'll right click here and open in Terminal.
Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me. So see, I'm right here. Blog
Yep.
front, open in VS Code.
Okay.
And then there's the terminal, but see, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't say, mine doesn't say Git.
Oh, so in the terminal, do a PWD to show us where you're currently at in the terminal. PWD, yep. So notice that you're inside of document / GitHub. You're in the right spot. Your terminal just looks a little different than mine. That's it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I did something.
Sure. Yeah. No, you're doing great. Okay. Want to try to get this command through before we break here in a second. So if you're not 100% with me, that's fine. We'll figure it out after the break. But for the folks that are here inside of the blog front end folder, and you can verify that using PWD. For the folks that are here, the command to run is back on this page. So Heroku git remote -a, and then the name of your Heroku app. So if we come back here, this is the command, Heroku git :remote -a, and then it should be whatever your Heroku app is.
Because it would show you, it kind of shows you your username in there.
Don't we need the money sign? Yeah, or whatever.
No, you don't need the money sign. The money sign is just to symbolize that this is a command that's expected to be run in the terminal.
Okay.
So mine said get remote. Well, command failed, get remote. Fatal, not a get repository.
So you're not in the right spot in your terminal. If you do PWD in your terminal and hit enter, what does it say?
So I did it on the wrong one. Hold on. Let's do it here and see what happens. Should I click on this? It gives me a link to get. Should I click on that?
Do you want to show me what you see?
right here.
Okay. Yeah, so you're in blog front end. Yeah, the command worked. Looks
Okay.
great.
Cool.
Great job.
Should I
Yeah,
follow?
if you've done it, if you've run the command successfully, it should, let me share my screen. It should show.
Did you copy and paste the command somewhere or?
Yeah,
Oh,
let me
I don't see it.
let me show you where I copied it from. So back in the browser, if you're at your app in Heroku, the command looks like this. It's down here and you can just copy and paste it. Alternatively, I'll paste what mine is into Zoom. Don't use my -a, my DE1UX blog front end. Use your Heroku app name.
Oh, no, I was able to find it. Thank you so much.
Okay, great.
Big cross.
So if that works, what we're gonna do before we go on break, if that worked for you, then in the terminal say git push Heroku. And it should start spitting out a bunch of stuff, but I'll paste this also into chat. And with that, we are at break. So if you want, for the folks that were able to get this far and run the git push Heroku command, just let your computer run and do what it's doing. But other than that,
does it make a difference if you push git push Heroku main?
no, you can also do git push Heroku main. Yes, git push Heroku is just a shortcut. Great question.
Nathan, what time do you want everybody back?
Do 7:30. All right, see you guys
Okay.
in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, because I have a question when we come back.
Yeah. Take your time. We'll answer the questions when we get back.
Okay.
Wayne, you still in here?
Mm-hmm.
So for the and I don't think they stopped recording, but whatever. You see where it says like create a new git respiratory. He wanted us to follow all those commands or just the Heroku git remote command.
In the chat right here, he wanted you to just do the last two. So Heroku, yeah, get. All right. Share your screen real quick. I'll show you.
I done lost the. Oh, here it is. Okay.
So if you go on your browser.
But look what I did when I put that command there.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not taking it. Oh, now it is.
Press
Oh,
any,
so what I do? What
press
do I?
any key on the keyboard. That works. And then after that, cool. And you already logged in. Then run the other one, get push Heroku in the terminal, same place right there. Copy the thing from the Zoom.
All these windows everywhere.
I know. Zoom chat, and then you got get push Heroku, copy that and put it in the terminal.
Oh my God.
Zoom.
It's, I
Zoom.
don't know where the chat. I don't know where the Zoom chat.
So if you hold Command and Tab, it'll show you all of the apps that you have running. Just click till you see the Zoom one.
I just clicked it and it's bringing up this page. This is not
Okay, hold on.
the chat. Hold on.
Zoom is supposed to be.
Okay, I see it now. All right. Get push Heroku. Okay, I'm gonna copy now.
And go back to your VS Code.
Okay.
Yeah. Paste that in.
I paste.
It looked like it's still waiting for you to log in.
Oh, so I have to log in from enter on the browser.
Yeah. I thought it said logged in. Well, click that.
Click this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already logged.
Oh yeah, crap.
All right, so now it should let you go back to doing commands. So you probably gotta go a few steps back. Yeah, so looks like you're logged in now.
Then you can run the other one. Yeah, that one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You all set. Just let that run.
Nah, hold
No.
on. Did you set up the? Hold on, let me see what that was. So you gotta, after you log in, you gotta set up the remote.
How you do that?
I'm gonna put the command in, but you gotta use like your username and whatever you name, what you name the project.
No, it's right there.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, just
so
copy that without the number sign. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
this
then
just before.
but you weren't logged in though, so that's why it didn't go through.
So now run that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then do the get, the rest of the commands, get, add, period. So down, yep.
No,
$.
No, just the last one, right?
And you got a space in there. Now, so do get, add, dot. Be careful because you got extra space in there. All right, run back.
Okay.
And then the get commit one. And you can like change the message, whatever you want to put. I just put first deploy. But if you want to leave that, it don't really matter. Yeah, you got to put it inside the quotation marks though. Yeah, so just erase that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, run that.
All right, and then this.
On the next one, but don't put master because they changed master, so you can just put get push Heroku or get push Heroku main. But you can just put get push Heroku, yeah, and enter, and that's gonna do some stuff, and then you should be good.
Okay.
You all caught up?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
You're most welcome.
Did that work for you?
It did. I didn't realize I was mute, but yes, thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
That worked for me too.
Great. All right, for people that are just now getting back, just now tuning in, we were checking on the Heroku, on the git push Heroku command. That was the last step we were at.
I don't know if mine worked.
So when you said git push Heroku, did you get to that step?
Oh wait, I did the whole, I did get push Roku, and it's had a bunch of stuff resolving remote. The app is using the Heroku 20 stack. However,
Go all the way to the bottom. And then do you see on one of the last lines it says released v something and then HTTPS, your GitHub username frontend.herokuapp.com.
yes, deployed to Heroku, releasing V3.
Yep, then that next line. Yep, that link, click that.
Command.
And let me show class this really quick. After you run the git push Heroku command, you should see something kind of like this. And it's a little confusing because there's a bunch of links here. But the one that you want is this right here. The one that says deployed to Heroku. Command click and open that up in the browser. If you have a blog, it should look something kind of like this.
Oh yeah, it says Christy's awesome blog. Okay.
Nice. Very nice. Santina?
Mine can't find Heroku.
Oh, so
And
open up. Go ahead.
I was just saying I didn't get to the git push. It was as soon as I did that remote dash blog front end portion.
Oh, right. So you didn't have the Heroku command. Okay. Do you mind sharing your screen really quick?
Sure. Hold on that. Okay.
So type into your terminal this command. Oops. I'm pasting it into Zoom chat. Zach, we have been deploying the blog. Did you deploy your capstone? That's also fine. But I'm just going to the blog so we can prove it out.
Where's my chat? What am I doing wrong?
You don't see the Zoom chat?
Can you still see my screen?
I can see your screen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I only have the one screen. Where am I chat?
Go. Can you go?
Oh, here we go.
Nice.
Okay. What did you want me to do? This one?
The brew tap. Yep. Copy that.
Maybe I did that at the wrong time. Okay.
Perfect. Yep.
Maybe we'll try at home.
Okay.
Installing your command line tools are out of date. See that command where it says software update -- all.
Software
this right here.
This right here.
Yes, copy that command. Software update -- all installed. Yep, copy all of that. Paste that. Run it. Yeah, and this is going to probably take a second. Yep, type in your Mac password.
The thing doesn't move. So
That's
I thought
fine.
it, I
It's
thought it
hidden.
wasn't going in, so I might have
Well,
done the wrong one.
To be safe, punch the backspace button a bunch of times. Oh, you did it. Great. Great.
I might be a little behind if there's not a line.
I don't think you're behind. We're doing something else right now, Nicole. I think your computer had an old version of the command line tools installed, and we just need to update those real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might have been from before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let this run, and just give me a heads up when it finishes. It should take you back to the terminal when it's all done.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So if you got to this step, the link to see your front end is here. The other thing you can do if you want to find your deployed app is you can come back to Heroku. You can start out at the dashboard if you like, click on the app, and then there's a tab over here that says open app, and that will also take you to the front end. Okay. Now, if we click login and try to log in, what is the username and password that gets entered in on startup? Does anybody know of a working set of credentials for the blog? Nicole, you know?
His username was Max.
I think secret maybe.
Super secret, I think.
Super secret, but it doesn't work because I already tried it. I got that message.
It should be
Because we don't have the back
Back
end.
end working. Yeah.
We gotta bring the back end, I think, before we
Yeah.
can.
Y'all got my trick. Okay. So before we bring up the back end, let's just take a real quick, I need to stop saying real quick. I say real quick all the time. Let's take a look at the network inspector and see what's going on. I click login. What's happening here? There's a lot of stuff going on my screen, but anybody have any ideas what's going on here?
No, I have a cool question though. That came out of the terminal. Where's that?
This screen right here, this is the inspect element, the developer tools in the browser. Are you familiar with right clicking and then hitting
Oh, yours is
inspect?
just different. Got it.
Yeah, sorry, this is Firefox. If you guys aren't familiar, are you guys using Chrome?
Yes.
Okay, yes, sorry about that. The gist of it though is take a look at the screen. Can anybody tell me what they think might be going on, what the error might be here on this?
It's basically saying for localhost 3001, it's basically missing and all that information for it to work. That's where it's at.
Yes, you're right. You're 100% correct. What is localhost?
That's the server in which the backend is running on.
Right. When we've been developing the blog, when we've been developing our backends, what has localhost been? What does it refer to?
A server on our computer.
Right. Localhost is an alias. Localhost means my machine. It means I don't need to make a trip out to the router. I don't need to make a trip out to the ISP. I don't need to make a trip out to the internet. It's right here on my computer. Localhost.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
So with us using like localhost 3000, localhost 3001, we have, in order for like we're deploying, we have to deploy both. But like on a regular website with the front end and the back end running, it's just one like website. So how do we make like the connection for both of them to be running together where you don't have to like if my question is making sense. Like
your question is making sense. And the great secret has been, it's not been one website. If you go to loadfacebook.com and you open up the inspect element and you take a look at the network calls going on, Facebook the one website that you're going to, is making hundreds of calls to all types of different backend services. So the great illusion that when you go and visit a website that you're talking to one thing, that you're talking to one connection, that's not true. You're loading a web page that is making calls to a ton of different backend APIs, a ton of different backend services. Does that answer your question?
It does. So are we gonna learn the connect on how
Yes.
to? Okay.
Yep, that's where we're going right now. So right now, the blog is wired to talk to localhost 3001 because that's where we've been running the Node.js server. But we don't have localhost 3000 doesn't make sense when it's deployed. So this would be one of those instances where we would write this down on a list for the problems that we need to fix. What else? What else do people see immediately? Not only do we need to change that so it's not just localhost 3000, but does anything else stick out in the errors that you see here? Has Max talked to you about cross-origin resource sharing?
I would say core.
Yeah,
I would say core origin regress.
Does anybody know what? Go ahead.
Isn't that part of the same error? Because we're trying to call localhost, which is not the server that the front end is on.
Yes. Yep. So it's a combination of problems. Yeah, it's the fact that we're talking to localhost, but also we have a CORS policy that says that we can only talk to certain backends. So when we go to deploy our backend, we're going to need to add to this list not only HTTP localhost 3001 as an allowed backend, excuse me, but also we're going to need to add whatever the address for our deployed backend is so that we can make resource requests to it. So those are kind of the two things that stand out to me about the blog that we need to change for this deploy. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and let's do, we got some time. Let's go ahead and do the backend deploy. But before I do, I just want to make sure, did everybody get something here? Does everybody have at least something for the front end, for their blog front end?
Well, mine just finished doing that last step.
Okay, great. The run Heroku login.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to it. So, the software
Just
update thing.
Heroku. After you got done with, oh, sorry, you're right. We need to go back one step. Run that brew command. So press up in the terminal till you get back to that brew tab.
Okay.
Run that one. Does it look like it's gonna make some progress?
Yes.
Okay. After that gets done, try running the Heroku login, and let me know how that goes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Everybody else able to get a front end? Zach, are you trying to quickly catch up with the blog?
I'm caught up with that. I just had a question. I don't know if we already answered this or not, but is part of the errors we're getting because we're not connecting to Beekeeper or no?
Yeah, that's actually the third thing, the third problem that we have right now. And it's not something that we would see immediately from these calls because we're not actually hitting a backend. So we're not seeing the backend fail. But the backend would fail, right? Because we don't have a Postgres database set up. And we'll get into that. But you're absolutely right. That is one of the problems that we need to tackle, one of the challenges we have to address. Okay, so other than Scadia, other than Shantina, I'm assuming everybody has a front end. Everybody has a working front end. Cool, great.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do the backend. We already have Heroku CLI installed, so we don't have to do any of that setup work. We already have the app created. So if we go into Heroku dashboard, we should see, no, we didn't create the app. So let's create one. So go to your dashboard. I'll paste that link again in chat. Go to the dashboard. On the right, click new. We're going to create another app. We're going to create the backend. Again, it's going to be whatever your GitHub username. If it doesn't fit, chop it down until it fits. Backend. Right? Yep. Blog dash backend. So we're creating a box for our deploy for the backend. And then once we land on this screen, once we have that box created, let's go steal that command and copy that to our clipboard. So Heroku get remote -a and then the name of the backend app that you just created. I'm going to throw that in my clipboard because I'm going to need that here in a second. So we need to link this Heroku app that we just created. We need to link it with our code on our machine. So I'm going to open up my terminal. Alternatively, you can go into GitHub Desktop, switch to the blog backend, open in VS Code, right click, open up an integrated terminal, paste in that command, the Heroku get remote command. So you can do it that way, or you can do it through the terminal program. If you have that open, you could just CD into documents, GitHub blog backend. And I need to grab that command because I just lost it. This is my Heroku get command. Yours is going to look a little bit different because you have a different app name.
Was the remote supposed to be before the other one or after?
Remote's supposed to be before the other one. What do you mean?
Yeah, I did the one. I did it backwards, but it's okay.
Okay. And you should get some kind of message like last time, set get remote Heroku to. Okay. And then no surprise, the command is to get push Heroku. You'll get a message just like before. Something, something, something deployed to Heroku. Yes, Zach?
I got a push failed.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Push rejected, get Heroku, blog backend, so that looks right. No default language could be detected for this app. Oh, we've got the same problem. So in the terminal, do an ls.
Oops.
Oh, sorry. You added that to the get ignore up above you. Right here, accidentally added an ls there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Otherwise, that 3,000 something files we're going to come storming back. Okay, so the ls, what do you see? What stands out at you?
Oh, I have the same problem I had before. Don't
Exactly. Yep.
Backend. Try to drop that there. Replace.
Don't forget to delete that empty folder because that caused us
Thanks.
a little heartache last time.
Nathan, earlier you said you were copying the command to the clipboard. Was that just a simple, Command C, or Was that like a special process where you have a list of things in a clipboard?
No, I wish I was that cool. I just use the traditional one
Okay.
slot clipboard. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, remote rejected. It's upset. Scroll up just a little bit. The same version of this code has already been built. All right, so do make a change, like in the get ignore. Click in the get ignore and just add an extra line. This is good to note for the rest of the class. If you don't change your code, you can't deploy again. You have to make changes to your code in order to deploy. So before you run the Heroku push, Zach, make a commit. So hop back into GitHub. Yep. Go ahead and type out a commit message. Updating backend. I don't know. Yeah. Push. Great. All right, now do the git push Heroku command.
Thank you for that, Nathan, because I was running through that issue like last week on a project I was working on. I couldn't figure it out to save my life. So now I know just change something in the file. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the flow that I want people to realize that we have right here, the flow is as you work on your app, you make commits, you push them to GitHub as usual. Then when you want to push to Heroku, you come into the terminal and do a git push Heroku. Heroku will ask you to always make changes before you push. And that's just because Heroku doesn't want to spend the money to deploy the same code over and over again. Yes, Christy.
Could you repeat that a while ago?
Yep. Let me figure out what, Christy, do you have a question?
Well, you can answer Wayne since it's about the same thing you just talked about. My question is kind of different.
Can do. Wayne, let me show you. 'Cause I want to cover this next. So I've already pushed my blog. If I do git push Heroku again, it's going to say that everything is up to date. There is nothing to deploy. So I won't actually push my code again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, but now if I wanted to trigger a deploy, I have two ways of doing it. I can either wait until I have some changes that I actually want to make, like let's go into server.js. Oh, look, here's the course credential. Maybe I should update that to also include some other stuff. Let's allow requests from localhost 7,000. 7,000. So now if I come back in the terminal and I want to deploy that code, I could do git push Heroku, but it says everything's up to date. Why does it say everything's up to date? Why isn't it doing a deploy?
No commit.
Exactly, no commit. So I need to come back into GitHub desktop. Here's my change. Adding another CORS entry commit. Now, it would be good practice to hit push origin, but just having the commit on my computer is actually enough for Heroku. I can now do git push Heroku.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question, Wayne?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for asking. It's a really, really good point.
So
Go ahead.
okay, so remember we all did like a website. We bought a website and then we did our portfolio. So we aren't going to deploy those, right? You wouldn't deploy something that you have a website for, right?
Yes, we're gonna do stuff with that portfolio eventually. Yes, but we're doing something separate here.
Oh, I was just wondering if deploying and the ones that we had bought domain names for, if that was something separate, but it's all the same.
Well, if you bought a domain name, we could actually link it up. And that's what I would like to do by the end of this week. When you go to present your capstones, it would look really nice. It's not a requirement. I don't think anybody's going to necessarily. It would look really nice if your capstone was deployed and it had a nice domain name to be able to reach. Because right now, let's look. Right now, to reach our front end for the blog, the front end is this URL, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not that great, right? It's kind of a hard URL to find, and also it shows users that were hosted on Heroku. Users don't care if we're on Heroku. So there is a way to take these Heroku links and put them behind a domain name that you own. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that does.
And-
Okay, that.
and we can do that this week if anybody wants to do that.
Okay, and my other question was, so you're gonna show us how to do like our capstones and our portfolio. I mean, yeah, the capstone in the portfolio. You're gonna show us how to do this, or is that our homework for tonight?
We're going to work on the capstone some together, but I want folks to try to take what we've learned here with the blog and do it on their capstone.
Okay.
I would like folks to be able to try to deploy their own capstone, but I said yesterday that the goal for this week is for everyone to walk away with a deployable capstone. I will help as much or as little as you need. Okay. So we have deployed our backend. Are we done? Is our app going to work? If we go and do the login, are we going to get in now?
Well, I tried and it didn't work. So, yeah.
So that's a hard no.
Yeah, because
But we
still not on
deployed.
either.
Why doesn't it work?
Because they're not on either one of those hosts. That's one thing.
Is it linked together? It's not linked together, is it?
It's not linked together, right? We're still making requests to localhost. What code do we need to change?
The fetch, maybe? I don't know.
The fetch?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. Yes.
We do have a APR URL and
Exactly. Yes, you're 100% right. Sorry, let me open this up in VS Code. So how do we get to working on our front end code? GitHub desktop, switch to the blog front end, and open in VS Code. All right, I'm in my blog front end. Nicole's saying fetch. Fetch is it in app.js? Is that where the fetch is happening?
It's in the back. It's in the back end.
Server. It has to be in both, though, right?
Oh, you passed.
Here it is. Here's the fetch. It's in login.js. Here we're making a constant response and we're awaiting an asynchronous call to the fetch API, some URL, AP URL /login. So what do we need to change? Wayne's already got it. API URL. What do you know? If we open up API URL.js, we've got HTTP localhost 3001. Okay, so what do we change this to?
Website.
Thing is.
Heroku. Yeah. So we can go back and what's the URL? There's a couple of ways we could find it. We can either go and dig in the terminal to try to see that message when we did the git push Heroku, it spits out that link for our backend. The other place that it's easy to go get that URL from is if we switch to our blog backend in Heroku, click the open app, that will give us the URL in the browser. We can grab that, come back to VS Code.
Say that again. Open, you said blog backend in Heroku.
Yep, there's this open app button right here.
Okay.
See that?
Yep.
That's going to open up the back end. You just can grab that. You can harvest the URL from the.
So our first name, blog backend.herokuapp.com.
Yep, that's it.
And the application error is supposed to be there, like.
Oh, What do you think? Is this good or bad?
I feel like, do we have to put that in the terminal?
No. So the application error, spoiler alert, the application error is because the backend's not running. There's a couple tweaks we need to make to the backend to get it to run.
Oh.
But we could still update that URL. So let's do that now. So grab whatever the URL is for your backend. Mine is https deluxe blog backend.heroku app. Take that and then come back to VS Code. We're going to update this API URL. Instead of going to 3001, we're going to go to our backend. Okay. What do we need now what do we need to do now if we want to deploy
Hold on,
this code change?
we put the back end in the front end, is that right?
Yes, we're telling the front end
Oh.
to talk to our back end.
Okay.
You need to get, commit, and push.
Git, commit, and push, right. So I'm going to open up my GitHub desktop. Notice how it's detected I've made this change to that line of code, which is what I intended to do. Switch the URL to work with the backend, the deployed backend. Commit. I'm going to push to GitHub. And then in my terminal inside of the blog front end folder, you can also do this in VS Code. You can right click and open a new integrated terminal. Maybe you already have one open. But do a git push Heroku to deploy our front end with our new code.
Oh, that was my other question. Does Heroku have a thing like the GitHub desktop? Is there a Heroku desktop? Or we just go?
No, unfortunately it doesn't. It's kind of strange because Heroku sort of acts like GitHub. So you would think if you could push to GitHub, you could also, and you could push to Heroku, you'd think that you'd also have a program to work with Heroku, but no, it doesn't have one like GitHub Desktop.
Okay.
All right. So mine finished deploying. I'll wait for other folks to.
I said everything was up to date, which shit doesn't make sense.
You made a commit?
Yeah, so let's see. I made a commit, then I pushed to GitHub.
Okay.
And then I did git push Heroku main, and it set everything up to date.
Do you mind showing your screen?
That's not too.
Git push Heroku main, everything up to date. Yeah. Oh, what is wrong with the git commit? You're close. What's wrong with? What's going on there?
Git commit minus n update URL. Your branch was up to date with main origin.
Keep going.
Oh, I did add the file. I thought I did.
You're close. It's the fact that the source API URL, it's the fact that that's not a stage change. Here's a tip though. Don't do the git add nonsense. Just do git commit -am, which means grab everything. And there's situations where you might want to stage files individually using git add. Also, kudos to you. I didn't realize somebody in class was doing that. Git from the
I see
terminal.
what I did. I didn't put the dot. That's what happened.
Yep. But
Okay.
I'm saying you could get around having to manually add files using git add if you use git commit -am.
Okay. What's the difference between the two? Because I did see that, but I forgot what the difference was.
A means that any changes that you made will get slurped up into the commit. If you just do -M, you have to manually add files using the git add command. You have to stage them together.
Okay.
It's kind of a bit more work. So most people that I know just do git commit -AM and just kind of ignore the git add part.
Okay.
So if you back up and just go all the way to the git commit command that you were doing, and just drop an A in between the dash and the M, you'll be all set. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Very cool. Very, very cool.
So now will the password work?
Yeah, that's the question. Is our backend working now?
You still have to do it on the back end, wouldn't you?
Change something on the backend?
Yeah, 'cause the back end there's the credential part that goes to the local host. No, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I know. I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the blog code too much. Let me.
Oh yeah, on server.js.
Yeah.
So we need to change because that was localhost 3000. So we'll put
Oh,
the
up
same.
here at the top. This.
Yes.
Yep.
So will we put the same thing there?
Well, hold on for 1 second.
But that's the front end code, the localhost 3000.
So let's hold on. Let's hold on for 1 more second. I know people are getting ahead to the server. We should have already deployed our front end code with that change. So our front end is now making fetches to our back end, correct?
You say so.
Nicole, you were the one that suggested that we change the fetch. Is our front end making requests to our back end?
You could try logging in.
Council log and see.
Is
Yeah.
it supposed to really still have this application error going on?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Do not feel bad about the back end being in a miserable state. Yeah, so let's find out. Let's do the login. Let's see. If we correctly change that, we should see in the browser that our browser is no longer making requests to localhost. We should see it making requests to the backend. Next. Login.
Core's arrow because of what we discussed in the back end part, and then
yep,
503. I don't know what that error message is. Yeah.
503. Yep. We are still having problems, but we're making requests to the right place. The front end is trying to talk to the back end. It just so happens that the back end is not running.
Can I look at your code again? To make sure I have it in there right.
Yes, this is back end code. Ignore that. Let's look for front end code. So I'm going to switch to the front end repo, open up in VS Code, and then API URL. All I did was change, like you said, all I did was change that API URL to my Heroku backend. I actually want to stop here for tonight and start working on the backend tomorrow.
I'm cool with that.
You guys are good. Are you? Is anybody feeling like they're not getting this? Anybody have questions? Anybody want to go back and look at anything real quick before we call it for the night?
Well, once I had gotten my front end set, I forgot how to get the back end to show up on the Heroku site for me to copy it.
Oh, okay. Once you have, did you create an app in Heroku for the backend?
I couldn't find the create app button.
Click the Heroku icon in the top left or go to dashboard.heroku.com.
Okay.
This where it says new, just click new.
Okay.
New, create new app.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
If you want to stick around, I know that you were behind a couple instructions. If you want to stick around, we can get you caught up.
All right, so I'll work on it while you help other people and things then.
Okay.
So Nathan, should we be getting an error from our back end, regardless, even if I'm not trying to connect to it? If that makes sense.
Yes,
hold on.
the back end is crashing right now. Spoiler alert, the back end is crashing right now. It's not even running. We deployed the back end, but when we deployed it, it immediately fell over and died. So tomorrow we're going to figure out what we need to do to the back end to make it not immediately die.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. I'm really impressed though that folks were able to all get a front end deploy. That's really, really impressive.
So what's like the small homework? Like, are we gonna go ahead and just put our capstone in or try at least, or what? No,
It's up to you. If you're feeling like you're comfortable with deploying the front end, please feel free to go ahead and deploy your capstone front end. So following the instructions again, where you go into Heroku, creating an app for your capstone, and then uploading it through the git push Heroku command. Again, all this stuff is in the slides. Everything that I've been saying is in the slides, and I've got animations for that show how to do some of this stuff. So hopefully all that stuff is there if you need just a little reminder on what to do. If you don't get the capstone front end deployed by tomorrow, it's not a big deal. Like I said, I promise that everybody's going to walk away this week with a fully functioning capstone deploy.
Does this where we did the local host for the Postgres, are we changing that too tomorrow? Do we have to change both of them or just one?
Yeah, you guys are chomping at the bit to fix these bugs. Yeah, that's got to change too. Yes.
Okay. So the one in the db.js and one in the server.js.
Yep.
Okay.
We got to change a lot of stuff. Yep. The backend's
Okay.
gonna be fun because we get to talk about databases tomorrow. We can't use our Postgres on our machine. We got to go and get one from Heroku.
Really?
Yeah. What, do you want to run your database all the time on your Mac?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know. I don't know. I'm just surprised to hear this.
Yeah, we gotta put everything in the cloud.
so would it be better to just start after the after just not building not working on the back end and just wait until we do that part to continue?
Yeah, that's up to you. Yeah, when we get done tomorrow, you will have a checklist of all the things that you may need to do to your capstone in order to make it deploy ready, to have it production ready. So if you want to wait till tomorrow, that's totally fine too. We're going to keep working on the blog back end when we pick up tomorrow.
So if your stuff is already functioning on your capstone, now you got to change it all over again.
You got to make little tweaks here and there.
If you already have data in your database, is there a way to transfer it to the Heroku database?
Sure is. Yep, and we'll get into that tomorrow.
So then now, once you do the Heroku database, are you still going to be able to put information in that database?
Good question.
If you have
now then you're going to have two databases. You're going to have one on your laptop and one in the cloud. So how does that work? Stay tuned. Find out tomorrow. I'm going to keep you in anticipation.
I thought when I got ahead that I was going to be done. Now you taking me back.
Wait.
somewhere else.
Okay, wait, time out. So if I don't have anything, if my database is still hanging in limbo, should I just wait? Can I just have one database, or do I have to have two?
You gotta have two.
Oh man. Okay, I thought
it's not a big. It's really not a big deal. I promise. Having two databases is not the end of the world.
Okay. Let me just say today was fun, so I'm excited to get everything.
Great. I think this should be exciting to folks because you get to actually have something that you can share with people. You don't just have to lug your Mac around and be like, look at my website on my Mac. Here now you're starting to get URLs that you can share with other people and show off your work. So yeah, okay. Good night, everybody, and see you tomorrow for more deploy business, and have a great rest of your evening.
Good night. Thank you.
So take care,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Thanks,
Night,
Nathan.
y'all. Okay, Nathan.
Yes.
So,
Hey,
so what should be,
can you share your screen and we can just
yeah, we could just
knock
pop,
this out?
go right through this. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you, because this would have been way more work if you had gotten behind. You're not far, so okay. You are ready with the back end. Did you get the front end deployed?
I believe so.
Oh, can you just show me real quick and click into the
Bye, guys.
Good
Wait,
night.
wait. Click up on the Heroku icon in the top left. Just click on that. Then click on your front end. Let's go look at your front end app real quick. And then open up the app so we can see it.
Open up the app.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
right here. Okay.
Perfect. You have a working front end. Great. All right, let's go. I didn't want to call you a liar. I just wanted to triple check that you had it.
I wasn't sure if it was or not, so that's okay.
Cool. Okay, let's
All
go
right.
back to Heroku
All right.
and switch to your back end where you were in the right spot. Okay. And then to get back to those instructions that you just saw, it's this deploy tab here.
Okay.
And then scroll down. Yep. Grab this. Yep. That whole line.
So I did that one.
Okay.
And then when I did the git push, well, not that one, the one that was in the chat. When I did, oh, let me just show you.
Okay.
And then when I did,
Oh, you have the same thing as Zach, I think. Where is this?
oh,
Same.
okay.
So scroll down and see where it says, yeah, it's this line right here. That's the giveaway. We have detected that you have triggered a build from source code at least twice.
Okay.
So it means that you're deploying the same thing twice. So
Okay.
to fix this, let's create a little change and then let's run the deploy again. So
Okay.
go, oh wait, your capstone backend.
Mhm.
We were working on the blog.
Oh, that's the wrong. Oh, it's here.
Okay.
I did have it open. Oh, shoot. It's not open. Okay.
That's okay.
Let me see.
So where do we go to
I go
dive
back
in?
here.
Yes. Yep.
That so I can read it. Blog backend.
Great.
And then open it and then blog backend, open in code, and then terminal, new terminal. And then I have to go to that backend. Oh, it's probably not going to be over. Oh, maybe it is.
Oh no, it doesn't look like. Oh wait.
Oh,
there it was down. There it
that
is.
one.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, good eyes. Thank you.
Can you do a git push, Heroku? Will that work now? It's gonna probably say the same thing as my guess. Well, this looks promising. This looks real promising. Build
Okay.
succeeded. Compressing. Come on. Launching. Yeah, there we go.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
You were so close. So very close.
All right. See you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Yep. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.